Al Jazeera Podcasts.
I'm David Enders, and this is The Take. As Israel's war on Gaza continues, we're coming to you on Sundays with a weekly roundup. This week, 81 days into a ceasefire, Israel has killed at least 394 Palestinians in Gaza. Palestinians in Gaza continued to struggle to find food. Israel further expanded its presence in Syria. Today is Sunday, December 21. Israel has killed more than 70,925 Palestinians in Gaza since October 7, 2023. Hamas officials warned this week that Israel's continued violations of the ceasefire in Gaza were threatening the viability of the agreement, a sentiment that was echoed on Friday during a meeting between U.S., Qatari, Turkish, and Egyptian officials, four countries that were instrumental in brokering the current truce. Al Jazeera's Hani Mahmoud reported on Saturday from Gaza's city, where Israel continues to carry out attacks even in areas that are no longer formally under its control.
It's a little over 2 months since the beginning of the ceasefire, close to 650 violations of the ceasefire since its beginning. But what happened last night, or early evenings of last night, what we know at this hour, that the Israeli military tanks fired shells at a school housing displaced families. Tank shells were fired at the second floor of the school while families had gathered for a wedding. So far, we're looking at 6 people who were killed in the attacks, including children, and many others were critically wounded. This just highlights how areas inside or outside the yellow line are equally dangerous for Palestinians. In fact, over the past few weeks, many of the attacks were carried out outside the yellow lines, and we're not talking about areas that are adjacent to the yellow lines. At least there's half a mile from the line that is created by the Israeli military, considering the area inside the yellow line as restricted military zone. But many of the people have been killed or targeted outside the yellow lines of the Gaza Strip.
The United Nations has said that Gaza is no longer experiencing famine. But despite the ceasefire, Israel has still blocked sufficient aid from reaching people there. Here's Al Jazeera's Tareq Azzoum reporting from a still-closed aid distribution site in Gaza City.
This behind me is one of the UNRWA aid distribution centers that is right now completely shut down and turned into a mass displacement camp for Gaza's residents. People here are living in unbearable conditions, and the UN is still warning that the reduced food rations, the ongoing access restrictions, and also their inability to bring a scaled-up delivery for aid supplies is making the crisis even more worse and could quickly reverse all recent gains. Without a sustained and a comprehensive deliveries for aid supplies, the situation in Gaza will completely worsen within the coming weeks.
Israel further expanded its military presence in Syria on Saturday, a day after a UN meeting in which multiple parties called on Israel to respect a 1974 armistice line. Israel has struck Syria more than 600 times in the last year. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elizondo reported from New York.
Israel's ambassador said Syria needs to secure its borders and also called for a demilitarization zone.
Syria is responsible for what happens on its soil. What we are asking for is simple: the immediate creation of a demilitarized zone stretching from Damascus to the existing buffer area, including across Mount Hermon and its summit.
To which Syria's ambassador responded with this:
It is actually Israel that's preventing us from accessing our territory to be able to exert control. Two very contradicting statements. A demilitarized zone, and still you should manage your own security. I'm not sure, I'm not a magician, but I'm not sure how that's supposed to happen.
It's clear deep tensions remain between Israel and Syria, but if this meeting proved anything, it's that the majority of council members are speaking with one voice, that Israel's attacks on Syria are at best not helpful, but at worst could threaten the stability of the very government trying to rebuild the country after decades of Assad regime rule.
Despite the difficulties, Palestinians in Gaza continue to rebuild their lives. Among them are motorsports enthusiasts, who can once more be found on Gaza's sand dunes. This is Al Jazeera's Gemma Nash.
The roar of engines cuts through the air as bikes rip over the dunes near one of many camps for displaced people in Gaza. Before the war, young Palestinians flocked to the central town of Al-Zara to ride their motorbikes or for the thrill of watching others. Now, during a shaky ceasefire, they're returning to a sport that made so many of them happy.
We come here every Friday to enjoy ourselves, as there is no other area to do this because all other areas have been destroyed by the occupation.
Just weeks ago, off-road biking in this area would have been impossible before the Israeli army's partial withdrawal. But for now, this weekly gathering on the sand dunes is giving Palestinians a reprieve from the struggles they face in daily lives.
And that's The Take for Sunday, December 21. Please join us again tomorrow. This episode was produced by me, David Enders. Our sound designer is Alex Roldan. Alexandra Locke is The Take's executive producer, and Ney Alvarez is Al Jazeera's head of audio.